1. If you can't, please type 00. And if every other person is hearing me, then it seems you may have to check your audio device. So you may have to check your audio device. So wherever you're joining us from, we say a very big thank you. 1. If you can't, please type 00. Okay, so there is network challenge from your location. Okay, so what we'll do is that we're sharing the YouTube link. So in case you have any challenge joining from Zoom, you can use the YouTube link to resolve network matters. Okay, so so for this particular class, the YouTube link is as shared now. So you find that in the classroom. So in case you have any challenge with with Zoom, please kindly visit our YouTube page. You could just type IIPM International or YouTube, and then you find the live section, and then you could join. That's if you have challenge via Zoom. All right. So for the sake of those who are just joining us, I will quickly run through this section again. I will quickly run through the objective of this course again. Please, I would like you to confirm that you can see my screen, and the screen is showing certified public speaking course. Please kindly confirm that you can see my screen. If you can see my screen boldly, please kindly type 55. If you can see my screen boldly, please kindly type 55. If you could see my screen boldly, please kindly type 55. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so quickly, let's go through the objectives of this course again, so that we will know exactly what we want to achieve by the end of this program. We say by the end of this course, you will be able to discover your niche area in public speaking. If you've already discovered your own, then you just need to improve on it. And then develop your public speaking competencies and skills, master professional speaking, professional public speaking delivery techniques, build your confidence, conquer stage fear, effectively manage your audience irrespective of size, create public speaking content, quality content, apply effective marketing strategies for public speaking content, and then craft irresistible proposal letters. So these are the things we are looking at covering in this program. Those are the things you'll be taking home with. Although we added emotional intelligence, we added branding, personal branding. In the content, we'll be looking at overview of public speaking profession, mastering public speaking competencies and skills, emotional intelligence in public speaking, building confidence, mastering effective stage and audience management, and then content development, public speaking delivery methods, proposal development, and effective marketing. So these are all of the things we're going to be covering in this course. Yesterday, we basically looked at the overview of public speaking. So from today, we'll be looking down from 2 and downward. So the class will be ending within the next 2-3 hours. And then tomorrow we'll be rounding up this class. We'll be rounding up the class tomorrow. We'll take 2 hours. We'll go for a break. We'll take 1 hour, and then we are done for today. Okay, we'll take our group work, and then we are done. So as part of the critical information that we need to have at the back of our mind, this course is attendance is free. To attend the course, we made it free. You can attend. Anyone who is interested in public speaking and building competencies in public speaking, you could attend. But the certification is optional at discounted rates. No examination is required for certification. Certificate to be issued is the Certified Public Speaking Professional course. And in case this is your first time of joining us, all of our certifications are globally recognized, irrespective of the country. We have both local and international accreditations. that certifies our qualifications for acceptance globally. All right. Now, the program date is from August 5th to 7th, 2022, and 11 a.m. daily, except for Sunday. That's tomorrow. That will be running 3 p.m. West African time. For those who are outside of Nigeria, I may not necessarily know where you're joining from, but I heard someone joining from Gambia, and I know some people joined from Ghana yesterday. Some people joined from Cameroon. So please kindly find the time suitable or the most appropriate time from your location so that you can always join at the right time. Okay. For certification fee, members of the institute are to pay 50,000 naira for the certificate, or $100, and the non-members pay 65,000 naira, or $130. Payment should be made to the GT account 0588546395, and the account name is Integrated Institute of Professional Management. That's if you're in Nigeria. You can make payment through transfers, cash deposit. Okay. We don't accept physical cash in the office. So even if you come to the office, we'll send you to the bank to make a payment, right? And after you've made your payment, to get access to the materials, we recommend that you send your proof of payment to finance@iipmi.org, finance@iipmi.org. For USD payments, you make the payment via the secured web page or secured payment link, paystack.com/pay/IIPM. For day 3 class, day 1, day 2 of this class is free. For day 3 class, to access the day 3 class, participants who are interested in the certification will make a minimum commitment of 15,000 naira, $30. And then for non-members, 20,000 naira, $40. So if you want to join us tomorrow, please, you can start making your payment now. That's if you've not. If you're interested in completing the course or joining us tomorrow, please, there is a minimum requirement for accessing tomorrow's class. And tomorrow's class is much more going to be practical. So we have time enough tomorrow to review all the practical sections and share all the materials that will be needed. Okay, and also share templates. We will also be sharing templates for everyone that is accessing the full course via certification. We will also be sharing templates. Of course, you get to have access to free coaching and mentoring, at least for the next 90 days to 120 days. You have access to free coaching and mentoring in the area of public speaking, right? Okay. All right, so let me just go in summarizing what we did yesterday. So in summary of what we did yesterday, we said, as it were today, a well-organized talk is not cheap. It's actually a lucrative business, and people are making big wages, big life out of well-structured talks, right? Then we also, by introduction, we say that as a public speaker, you need to consider discovering your niche, developing value, understanding that brand is key to building your public speaking career. And we say perception on its own is value. So you don't need to allow people to say what they want to say. You get to form a perception about you that you want them to talk about you. Then we have continuous professional development. We talked about networking. We talked about leveraging. Now there were 2 extra things I mentioned of yesterday. I mentioned 2 extra things yesterday. I spoke about mentorship and I spoke about consistency. Okay, I spoke about mentorship. You need to find a mentor, a coach that will guide you, and then you need to be consistent. And I said, public speaking is the game. Consistency is the rule of the game. If you want to make it big and make it a rewarding profession, then you must learn to be consistent. Consistent in improving your value, consistent in improving your brand, consistent in improving your perception, consistent in developing your capacity, consistent in building quality network of people around you, consistent on leveraging on the positive factors around you that could help you manage your career well, consistent in receiving mentorship, okay, consistent. So consistent is key, consistency is key in public speech. Right. Then we'll also discuss on why consider public speaking as a profession. We said one, it gives you a voice, it makes you become a voice. So you have a voice, you become a figure that people can listen to, and you become an attention. Okay. Then also you own a brand. By owning a brand, people know what you're up to, and that brand can also fetch you ambassadorship programs for your public speaking engagement. And the brand also helps you to easily get speaking engagement. So one of the things you must be key on doing as a public speaker is to build a brand. Yesterday, we spoke extensively on how you could start building your brand. You could use social media, you could use internet, basically, web pages, build your own website, and start building your brand. And also taking up engagement, even if it's free. But the most important thing is that you want to get people to know what you're up to, right, as a public speaker. And then we spoke about respect and honor. Every public speaker has respect and honor. And then we also spoke about gaining financial independence, right? We spoke about building quality network of persons, okay? There's something about public speaking. Public speaking, if you do it right, with time you have a ready market to always buy whatever thing you have to sell. I'll repeat this again. If you are good in your public speaking engagement, you will at some point have a ready, reliable market that you can always sell to whatever products or service you're selling or you're willing to sell. So when you're building a brand, you're also building a subscription base. Okay, you're building a subscription base, improving on your email list base, improving on your social media subscription rates across all boards, increasing your subscription rate on YouTube, increasing your subscription rate on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on WhatsApp, on Twitter. By all means, you want to increase the number of people following you. That becomes your market. Okay, that becomes your market. We have this 80-20 rule. Okay, out of the 100 persons you have, it is the 20% of your subscription that will always give you results. So the higher your subscription, the higher number of people you have in your followership, the higher the possibility of increased revenue generation. Okay, so whether you want to do it digitally or you want to do it manually, by developing a brand, you want to build quality network of persons, okay, that can easily buy off your product or service. Okay, people who trust your judgment, trust your delivery, trust your service, and all of that. All right. Then another thing is building reputation. Okay, as a public speaker, you by default build reputation, so people respect your view on the area you've chosen, provided you're doing it the right way. Okay. Yesterday also, as part of our concluding speeches, we said that public speaking is the opportunity now. Whether you are in private sector, in public sector, public servant, civil servant, private servant, it doesn't really matter. You have to realize that public speaking is the opportunity right now. You know, so many people will tell you public speaking is all about motivation, motivational speakers. No, not every public speaker is a motivational speaker. Some public speakers are trainers, some public speakers are consultants, some public speakers are coaches, some public speakers are mediators, some public speakers are different professionals in different disciplines. So it's not only motivation as the case may be. In fact, the mindset that public speaking is all about motivational speech has made so many people lose interest in public speaking. As a teacher, you're a public speaker. As a lecturer, you're a public speaker. As a public service director, you're a public speaker. As an MD of an organization, a CEO, a public speaker. You communicate with customers, you're a public speaker. Okay, you're a front desk officer, you're a public speaker. So public speaking is a key skill in these contemporary times that we are. Okay, if you shy away from public speaking, you'll be shying away from opportunities. So whether you want to go into it full-time as a profession or not, you must understand that public speaking skills is a necessity. It has become a common decimal, okay, for organizational productivity and for personal productivity as well. All right. So that is very, very important. So the mic is before you. So whatever thing you want to do with it, you do with it. So you put the volume that you want to have in it. We also spoke about the speech development process, where we spoke about the speaker. That's talking about the components of the speech. You have the speaker, you have the message, you have the channel, you have the listener or the audience, you have the feedback, you have the interferences or the noise, and then you have situations that could prevail in your public speaking engagement. All right. We talked about public speaking in current realities at workplace or the university, school. You have selling your ideas, technical presentations, customer presentations and reviews, Viva presentations like your video recordings and all of that, competitions and debates. Then in our daily lives, we have school board meetings, staff meetings, corporate board meetings, town hall meetings, PTA meetings, Boy and Girl Scout meeting, fellowship meetings, church meetings, religious meetings, house and society meetings, and several others. So public speaking is everything we do. Okay. Public speaking is in everything we do. So we need to be professional in it. Now, in contemporary times, looking at the contemporary opportunities, with anyone who cares to be a public speaker can actually be a very good public speaker if he takes into consideration the following. The person must be careful to conduct parametric needs analysis to be sure that what he's going to be talking about is going to produce value, is going to produce impact, okay, it's going to be solving problems. And then do a strength, weakness, and opportunities and threats analysis, SWOT analysis, to be sure that he has the capacity to deliver. Now, if he does his or her SWOT analysis and finds out that the capacity, there is gap in capacity, then the person owes himself the responsibility or owes herself the responsibility of engaging in continuous professional development to be sure he fills the gap, she fills the gap needed to meet up with the needs identified in the needs assessment. And then also conducting feasibility study to be sure that the public speaking opportunity you found is viable economically. Okay. Every profession we think is actually targeted at putting money in our pocket. So no matter what you do in public speaking, the end point, no matter how long it takes, the end point is to be able to create sustainable income base for you as a person. So you have to, from the onset, conduct a feasibility study to be sure that the area of niche you've chosen will be able to create sustainable income base for you at the long run. Then exploring the online environment. Like I said yesterday, you don't need to have a wide office space in Maitama or in Lagos to say you want to start your public speaking adventure. You could use the online environment, and the online environment will mean your social media, your website. Today, creating web pages is very simple. Creating social media pages is very simple. Just the way you open a Facebook account, your personal Facebook account, you could open an official Facebook page, okay, an official LinkedIn page, an official Twitter page, an official Twitter handle, an official Instagram page and all of that. And then you could explore the opportunities in all of those things. The last time I checked, it was said that we have about close to 8 billion people on Earth. And the report has it that only Facebook has about 4 billion people connected to it. So that means almost the whole world is on Facebook. All right. And that's a large market for you. So the people you want to meet, and you might not have all the confidence to meet them, your page can meet them, your handles can meet them. And then with good branding, you will have to attract the right clients to yourself. All right. Okay. Then I think this was where we stopped yesterday. So I don't know if there was any question. If there is any question from yesterday's class, you slept over it, and then you think there is a question that you need to ask us, please, if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand or mute you, and then we take your question. Please, Galaxy A03 core, can you please rename your device so that we can address you properly? Galaxy A03, can you please rename your device so that we can address you appropriately? Okay. Okay. Any question, any concern, any contribution before we proceed? Okay, so if there is no question, let me quickly go through this. Now, in defining public speaking, we say it's the process of speaking to a group of people in a structured, deliberate manner intended to inform, influence, or entertain the listeners. I need you to get some of the components of public speech. Number one, you are speaking to a group of people. Number two, the speech must be structured. It's not just anyhow speech, it must be structured. So you make it deliberate. And there must be a target to it. It's either you're informing people, you're influencing people, or entertaining people through your public speech. And that's why in public speech, like I said yesterday, you have the formal side of it, which is basically to inform, to influence. Then you have the informal side of it, the entertaining. You have the comedy, and all of those part of it. Now, in the element of public speaking, you always have who is speaking, which is the speaker himself, what he is speaking, the content is delivering, the effects of what he's speaking, is it to inform, is it to influence, or to entertain, to whom he's speaking, the audience, and then what medium he is speaking from. So these are basic in public speaking. Now, the purpose of public speaking is that you're transmitting information, you're influencing or motivating people to act, or you're entertaining them. Okay. Now let's look at this. Let's look at pillars of public speaking. The first one you have there is what we call verbalization. Choice of words you use to speak to the audience. It is what you say. So verbalization is typical what you say. Okay. Your choice of words, the pitch in your delivery, the tone of your voice. All of these are part of verbalization. Okay, and you know, let's assume you were to use is and you use words. You know, it has altered the meaning of what you say. So choosing the right words, choosing the right pitch, choosing the right tone is very, very important in public speech. Now, the next one is vocalization. Okay, so I think I'm combining two things here. Vocalization, how you deliver using your pitch, your tone, your power, your pace, the pause, the modulations, and other vocal speaker skills. They're all important. Your pace of speech. If you're a fast speaker, you might lose your audience. So you need to know the right pace to use. Okay, and then your pitch, your power, your pausing. You need to understand the power of pausing, using pause in communicating, and then modulations. Know when to go up, know when to come down, know when to become humorous, and then other vocal speaker skills. like your storytelling, very, very important. Now, the third one is your visualization, how the audience sees you. This includes how you dress and carry yourself, your posture, your stance, and your movement. Remember, we spoke about perception. Perception is key in public speech. How the people see you will determine if they will give you the attention or not. How the people see you will determine if they will give you their time or not. So you have to be careful with visualization. Visualization. You must be deliberate on dressing. You must be deliberate on your posture. You must be deliberate on your demonstrations, your movement, okay, your walking steps and styles. Okay, very, very important. Now, quickly, let's look at public speaking competencies and skills. 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 Public speaking is a soft skill that requires excellent communication skills, individualism, and the ability to engage with the audience. So all of the competencies and skills you're going to be building is all bent at communicating effectively, having the right passion, and being able to engage with your audience. All right. So let's look at this together. I trust you could see my screen on this. Hope it's not too tiny from your end. If it is tiny, please, you can zoom it. Okay, so in the competencies, we've tried to separate them into 4 basic competencies. If you must be an effective public speaker, you must be good in these 4 competencies. The first competency is research and development. Remember yesterday, we spoke about being innovative and creative in content delivery, first content development and then delivery. So if you must, we also said yesterday that your content must be attention seeking, right? Your content must be attention seeking. The value you're going to be delivering must be attention seeking. So it needs a whole lot of research to be able to come up with contents that are attention seeking, contents that are value driven, contents that are that will draw people to you. Okay, and when you've done such research, you can develop your research into veritable components that you can deliver as a speech, right? Okay, so there under the skills we have the needs assessment. You should be able to know exactly which need the people have. During your research phase, you should be able to identify. So in research, there is what we call hypothesis. You could draw up hypothesis on trying to be sure of which of the assumptions you're making will work. So let's say you're assuming that going into maybe you want to go into public speech in politics and you want to focus on political inclusiveness and good governance, right? And then you have another thought of going into girl child education. And then you have another thought of going into empowering people with disabilities. And then you have another thought of going into maybe IDPs, internally displaced persons, empowering internally displaced persons. And remember, you're doing this in a location. So there are factors that will help find out which of those assumptions you want to go into we deliver the best result, maybe over time. All right. So in your needs assessment, having different hypotheses, you can run tests on them in your immediate environment to find out which of them will serve maybe as your starting point in that particular environment. And then another thing is to also have good analytical skills. You must have good analytical skills. Research is backed up with facts and figures. Facts and figures. So you should be able to know how to use facts and figures in your presentation. In fact, one of the things that make a public speaker competent is when he or she is able to have referenceable facts and figures. So you need to do a whole lot of research to come up with referenceable facts and figures. Referenceable documents, referenceable knowledge that that are traceable. Okay, so for us in public speech, we must know how to analyze facts, analyze figures, analyze data coming to us. Okay, and all of that. Then another one is decision making. As part of research and development, part of the key skills you need to have there is decision making. Okay, you must come up with conclusions on your research. You must come up with summary of your research. You must come up with the abstracts of your research. So there must be definitions of what you want to do in terms of setting objectives and all of that. Okay, so that brings us to the next one, setting objectives. So you should decide on the kind of objectives you want to set, and then decide on the kind of content you're going to be developing around those objectives. Then we'll have the feasibility study and reporting. Every public speaker must be good with feasibility study and reporting. It's important for me to point out at this point that a public speaker is viewed as a consultant. And one of the important aspects of consulting is feasibility study and reporting. So as a public speaker, you must pay attention to developing and building your consulting skills, among which is feasibility study and reporting. Then another thing is memorization. Please, by memorization, we don't really mean you should cram the information that you have. No, what we mean by memorization is having in-depth understanding of the area you want to talk about. Okay, so having in-depth understanding, mastering the area you want to focus on. Okay, that's what we refer to as memorization. Okay. And there are other things that can be added there under research and development. Then you have communication. You have the written and oral communications, digital skills, demonstrations, managing your pause, technical skills, summarizing, use of humor, composition, storytelling, time management, and several others you could also add there. Now, another aspect of the domain that a public speaker must pay attention to is the domain of business. All right. Like I said, public speaking on its own is a profession. So understanding it as a profession is important, as it will help you in engaging in it entrepreneurially and making the most of it. You know, I used to tell people, I said, one of the most amazing profession you can ever pick is consulting. And you know, inside consulting, there are different other names. Public speaking, like I said, is also consulting. And one thing I love about consulting is that consulting, you have less overheads to deal with. You have less overheads to deal with. So understanding all of this business-wise will now help you to know how to go about them. Okay, how to go about it. So in your business, in the business domain, you need to look at your entrepreneurial skills, working out the plans, working out your strategies, working out your ideas, being consistent, being passionate and enthusiastic about the area you've chosen, and then persistently and consistently working on it. Then you also need to work on your networking skills. Like I said yesterday, public speaking is not a tangible product like tomatoes or Maggi or fish or meat you can quantify in tons and kilograms. No, it's not something that people need as a basic necessity of life. Right? It's not considered as a basic necessity of life. So you must put up strong effort in networking and marketing, building quality network of people around you, creating your own market. Okay, creating your own market. In fact, as a public speaker, you must be deliberate on creating your own market. The more people you have into that market, the better for you. The more people you have into your market, the better for you. Create your own market and get more people, open access, grant people open access to having, to coming into your market. And then it's easier for you to make more sales over and over again. Okay, So that's networking and marketing. Then you have the relationship skills. Understand that relationship can offer you anything you ever desire. And as a public speaker, managing relationship is key to us. In fact, part of our major businesses as public speakers is relationship management. So we need to be focused on and be deliberate on building relationships and then managing and maintaining these relationships if our public speaking business must move forward. Okay, then the next one is service excellence. Customer service is key. Client service is key in public speaking. So you have to also work out strategies to give you the best or give your customers the best service experience they've ever had. Then you have the financial skills, know how to do your pricing, know how to do your budgeting, your expenditure, know your overhead costs, know your critical cost items, okay, know your critical revenue items. Have a good knowledge of your books, okay, your bookkeeping and your record, and that will help you business-wise. And then you have the monitoring and evaluation. Yesterday we looked at that sequence of having sustainable engagement in public speaking. We looked at, first of all, value, impact, and then we have profit, value, impact, and profit. Now, for you to be able to be sure that you're creating value, you have to be able to monitor and measure this value. So setting up your key performance indicators is important in monitoring and evaluation, so that you'll be able to say, yes, this is the value we set out and we achieved it. And then from the value or the KPIs that have been achieved, you can then measure the prospective impact that will bring over a period of time. All right, that's very, very important. And part of the skills you also need to have is the skill of developing your M&E framework, developing your M&E framework. Very, very important. And then your follow-up framework. Okay. Your follow-up framework. Very, very important. Okay, very, very important. Now, looking at this framework or looking at these competencies and skills, is there something you would like to ask, add, or remove? If there's something you would like to add, please just raise your hand and let's discuss it. If there's something you think that should be removed, you can also raise your hand. Let's also discuss it. So what do you think about this competency? Do you think these 4 domains covers the basic competencies, or do you think something needs to be added? Because we are open to interactions. So let me hear from us. Let me hear from us. If your hand is up, we'll unmute you. If your hand is up, we'll unmute you. Okay. Now, if you think I should continue, please kindly type 1 on the chat room. If you think I should continue, you think it's covered, then let's type 1 on the chat room. Okay, so I'm seeing 211. I've seen only 2. Okay, so I'm seeing 3. Okay, so I'm assuming that you understand the framework. All right. Okay, so let's now see, how do we apply this framework? Because all of the whole thing about competencies and framework is that we are going to now apply them in the profession of public speaking, right? So let's move forward and see what we have. Now let's look at the stages in public speaking planning. Number 1, know your audience need. We've been speaking about needs assessment so that you'll be able to identify the need of the audience. So know the need of your audience. if you don't want to be disrespected, maybe you're speaking and people stand up and leave your hall or leave your venue, or maybe you called for an online meeting, all of a sudden you see people are just disappearing. You did all your whole marketing, and then you had 300 persons that entered your venue online, and all of a sudden you're seeing 50 people, and then they are reducing to 20, and then they are reducing to 10. That means you didn't really do a thorough audience needs analysis. If you do a thorough needs analysis, people will come, and then with good content and good presentation, they will glue and listen to you. Okay. Somebody was telling one of my colleagues something. I think that was in our last class in business development consulting. The person said he just got the link, and he was in the toilet when he got the link, and he entered, and he spent almost 3 hours in the toilet because he couldn't go out of the class, and he didn't remember that he was in the toilet. You need to know your audience needs. If not, you'll just be speaking to yourself. I've actually received this form of responses before. People will tell you, I had to join this class on transit. Okay, I'm driving, but I'm listening. Okay, over time we hear that a lot. And then you hear somebody tell you, I am going to the airport right now, but I'm listening. So I may be off for a while. When I land, I'll reconnect. What they are simply telling you is that this thing you're saying, this thing you're talking about right now is a need. And I think I want to know about it. Okay, I want to know more about it. So you give them what they want. Okay, you've heard of the mystery of sticks and carrots. So always make sure you give your audience what they need. Okay, if you don't give them what they need, they will leave you alone. And I've said this before, I said this yesterday. In your career, no matter what you're doing right now, try to gradually start building public speaking inside it. Gradually start building public speaking, start building consulting inside it. I'll repeat this again. You know, this program is free. So whether you pay for the certificate or not, the most important thing to us is for you to understand what we're saying. Now, well, irrespective of the level you are now, irrespective of your profession, start building public speaking. Public speaking gives you this, in these contemporary times, if you use all of those, the contemporary opportunities we looked at, if you look at, view them holistically and you begin to practice them, I tell you the truth, it gives you a global view. It gives you a global view. Now, for instance, we are seated here I'm seated here in my office. Okay, and then yesterday we had about 4 or 5 countries joining us. Okay, today we have Gambia, Ghana. Yesterday we had people from Canada and all of that. That is global view. Do you know what this does? What this does is that it raises awareness of the opportunities that exist for you. So if you're an engineer, start talking about your own field of engineering. Start talking about if you're a teacher, start talking about your discoveries in teaching. Create an avenue and let people get to know what you're talking about. And make sure you're making sense. Make sure that that thing you're saying is addressing a need. One day you receive an appointment on your table telling you based on so report and research we saw on so page or based on what we saw on your Facebook. Several people have gotten job on LinkedIn because of consistency in the kind of content they develop, the kind of posts they make. So the same way, if you want to put yourself in the global landscape, why not start understanding the need of your audience and then start producing content. on them and start pushing them out. Now, when you understand their needs, please make sure you do thorough research. Make sure you do thorough research to be able to build quality content on what they are looking out for. The internet has made most of us lazy, that everything you think you can get on the internet. Yes, everything can be gotten, most things can be gotten on the internet. But let's not forget the libraries. There are still wonderful documents. There are still stock in the library that you might not access for free online. And you might not even have the right keywords to give you all the documents you need online. So try using state-of-the-art libraries, okay? Physical libraries you can walk into. Try joining associations that you can get journals. Most journals are not published for free online. You pay for them and they give you either the e-copy or the printed copy. So find the right place that will give you the right information for you to having effective research work. Then develop the materials to suit the need of your audience. Okay, develop the material to suit the need of your audience. Okay, so if you are doing public speaking, the kind of delivery method you're using will determine the kind of grammatical sequence you'll be using, the kind of grammatical structures you'll be using for your work. For instance, if you're making a presentation, you're not going to be using a Microsoft Word for a presentation, right? So you use something like PowerPoint. Other software, you could use things like Show. Now, those places you have bulleted points. You don't have an array of information. No, you just have bulleted points. So the kind of speech you have and the delivery technique you're using will determine the kind of grammatical structures and functions, the presentation style you will also be using for that material. Then you can do your presentation, and in your presentation, basically what you want to do is to engage your audience. And by engaging them, you are either transmitting information to them, you're influencing them, or you're entertaining them, or you must engage them in your presentation. Okay, you must engage them in your presentation. Now, look at this. If you're an engineer, let's say you're into civil development, all right? You can't run away from presentation. Knowing what to put in your presentation and knowing the kind of audience you're presenting to, and then picking the appropriate style to use can win you that contract, can win you the promotion, can win your company that they are looking for. Or in fact, I don't know how many of us have actually been in maybe some business presentation, board presentation, and some of them. Somebody will actually come and you say, we have project, or the person will come and be showing you PDF. And the PDF is a Microsoft document that was PDF'd, and then you're projecting PDF maybe to 50 people. And then they are telling you we cannot see clearly. And then you say, zoom it. The presentation is going haywire. But when you know exactly what you're presenting, and then you have the right mix of information and create the right format for a presentation, wow, it will make a whole lot of difference. So if you're an engineer, you go on presentation, whether you like it or not. If you've not gone before, one day you will go. If you're head of department, you're ready for presentation. In fact, if you're head of department, I would recommend that you try turning from the traditional systems to making it more digital. So let your presentations, you have projectors. Okay, you do your presentation. Even if you don't want to use projectors, try to use collaborative IT tools. Okay, like you have Zoho, you have Google Drive, or let's say the Google slides, right? Okay. And then you could use collaborative tools to drive your presentation even without projector. And then if a project manager, you can't run away from presentation. If you're a HR manager, you can't run away from public speech. If you are in fact, if you're a head at whatsoever level, if you are a director at whatsoever level, you are a marketer at whatsoever level, you are an operations person at whatsoever level, the presentations cannot, you cannot escape presentations. The truth is, every day we make presentation. Every day we make presentation. Whether we believe it or yes, every day we make presentation. Structured, unstructured, semi-structured, every day we make presentation. Every day we make presentation. Every day we make presentations. Is it that you're making presentation about your business, about your career, about your family, about your own personal life? There must be a presentation. And being able to convince people through your presentation is key. Is key. You see, all these things we'll be saying, discover your niche, develop value to them, then deliver the value. That value delivery, one of the approaches is presentation. And if you do your presentation, well, why not? You capture value, else that value eludes you. So presentation is key in public speaking. And then you evaluate. Remember, when you started with a need. You've done all through, presented, then you need to evaluate that need that we set out to achieve. Did we achieve it? To what extent did we achieve it? If it was 100%, what were the factors that helped us achieve it 100%? If it was less than 100%, at whatever percentage you're able to come up with, what factors led to us achieving at that point? There are different components when it comes to evaluation. All right, you evaluate the need. The evaluation now will become a 360 approach, right? So you are evaluating the audience are also evaluating. Maybe if there are judges there, they are also evaluating. The people that gave you the opportunity to speak, they are also evaluating. So there is an all-round evaluation. So they evaluate the need, they evaluate the content, they evaluate the engagement, they evaluate the impact level, or at least if not the impact level at the moment, they should be able to evaluate the output level, okay, and the outcome level, okay, after your presentation. It is the degree of what they see on the output and outcome that will tell them if the proposed impact will be gotten or not. Then after you might have done your thorough evaluation, you can improve. Sorry, I noticed that my device just went off. I came back. Sorry, my connection went off. I came back. I don't know exactly where I stopped. Okay, so I was talking about evaluation. Now, if you're creating an evaluation, you can use things like SurveyMonkey for evaluation. Create evaluation forms on SurveyMonkey. You can use Bistri. You can use Google Forms, okay? You can use Zoho Surveys, and there are other thousands of survey tools you can use, okay, to evaluate your program. All right. Then the next thing is for you to improve on your work. Every presentation should give you an opportunity to improve on your work, gain new experience and improve on your work. Now, do you know one thing about public speaking? One thing about public speaking is that when you are out as a public speaker, your primary role is to first of all learn from your audience before you teach them, or before you transfer whatever thing you want to them. Public speaking, you first are the one to learn. You are the first person to learn. Then from your learning, you can now transfer. It is what you've learned that will help you have a right mix of information. From what you're learning, you'll be learning their current knowledge base, their current experience base, their current network base, their current, whatever current level they are, you're learning all those things from them, perhaps through interactions, discussions, simulations. You're learning those things from them. And then those things are going to be the baseline for your own delivery. So public speaking is a two-way thing. Okay, it is from them to you, you to them to you, you to them. All right. Okay, so that is very, very important, and it's good for us to understand that. Right. Okay, do I have any question here? Any comment? Any question? Let me know. Any question? Any comment? Now, I want to say something here. When you're done developing your work, developing your content, in fact, not just only developing your content, from beginning of this stage to the end, please always learn to evaluate. Learn to evaluate. When you're done developing your content, evaluate. Be sure that it's going to meet the need. How do you do that? You could use subject matter expert for your evaluation. Okay. For some of us that do highly technical presentation, don't just finish and rush to go and present. Find someone who can help you with technical review of what you're presenting. Okay. Always make sure that there is a review. Always make sure that there is what? A review of your work before you present. And that is part of evaluation as well. All right. Any question for me? Any contribution? Okay, so if you are enjoying this class, please kindly type 55 in the chat room. If you're enjoying this class, please, if you're getting something from this class, please kindly type 55 in the chat room. Okay, so okay, so thank you so much. I believe you're enjoying and is meeting your needs. So I'm seeing some wonderful people in my class today. I'm seeing Engineer Mohammed Bello Kwali from Ministry of Industry. Engineer Bello, you're welcome. And I'm seeing my wonderful uncle. I'm seeing both his face and his speak. So I'm seeing my uncle, Mr. Callistus Ekechukwu. You're all welcome. I think these are some of our new friends joining us for the first time. I'm seeing some wonderful names. Kuburi Luanga. This one is not a Nigerian name, obviously. Okay. So for all of our new converts, you're welcome. And I trust this is helping meet your need. And once again, Professor Ifoma is here. You're welcome. Dr. Alice, Honorable Femi Ganduno, you're all welcome. Thank you. Engineer, okay, so Kuburi is from Cameroon, so you're welcome. Engineer Shaibu, you're welcome. Okay, so if there is any area of concern, please do let me know. Now, what this training will help us do is that it's not that we've not been doing presentations or not been doing public speaking, but it just gets to help us become more deliberate. Okay, help us become more deliberate. You know, before I took a course in public speaking, I thought I was very good. That's just it. I thought I was good at. So what are you going to teach me? Public speaking. This is not just to come and tell people what they need to know. All right, but after I finished my course on public speaking, I realized that wow, it is another thing entirely. So what this will help us do is to help us reposition in the sphere of public speaking, help us repackage our materials, our content, okay, in the face of public speaking. Very, very important. And for some of us that are lecturers here, some of the things we are teaching here, my humble recommendation is that we take these things to the classroom. I can see Dr. Alex, I can see Professor Ifoma. Some of these things, let's take them to the classroom. Okay, let's take them to the classroom. And maybe by the time we'll get to discuss the techniques in public speaking delivery, we understand why we need to take these things to the classroom. Okay. Very, very important. Okay, so if I should proceed, I'm waiting for question, I'm waiting for comment, I'm not receiving any. If I should proceed, please kindly type 11 in the chat room. If I should proceed, please kindly type 11 in the chat room. If I should proceed, please kindly type 11 in the chat room. Okay. Engineer Debussy, you're the first person to type 11. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Now, this area is very, very critical, and I will need you to listen very well, because we will soon we'll soon break ourselves into sections or break ourselves into groups and work on certain things and come up with the presentation. The speech development process. How do you develop a speech? Number one, every speech must have a theme or topic. Every speech must have a theme or topic. Every speech must have a theme or topic. Every theme must have a every speech must have a theme or topic. Every presentation must have a theme, topic, title. So there must be a theme. Number two, there must be a rationale. Why are we choosing this theme? Why should we bother about talking about this? The rationale. In some cases, the rationale will cover the background of your speech. So it gives information about the problem. Justify why that problem needs to be solved. That's your rationale. Your rationale gives you the background of the speech, gives you the problem statement, and tells you why this needs to be solved. More importantly, it can go as far as highlighting the expected impacts if this problem is solved. Okay, if this problem is solved. So your rationale should cover the background of the problem statement and why it needs to be solved and the proposed impact it will give at the end of the day. However, no matter how long your rationale is, it shouldn't be more than, in fact, we try to make it not more than half a page. Not more than half a page, okay? So that you can have space to write other things. Then the other thing is your set objectives. You have a topic, you have a rationale, you have justified that, yes, this topic needs to be treated. Then you have to set objectives. If you don't set objective, you might not be guided, okay, in the presentation. You might not be what? You will lose guide. So the objectives help you to know what the content will now be. The objectives will help you to know what the content will be. The objectives will help you to know what the content should be. So without objectives, you can talk about anything. Okay, without objectives, you can do what? Talk about anything. But with objectives, you've already streamlined your discussion. And one thing objective does is that objectives gives expectations to the audience. Objectives guide the speaker but gives expectation to the audience. So the objective becomes somewhat a checklist to find out if we completed our discussion or not, if we completed the speech or not, if the expected output of the speech we are gotten. Now, these objectives form basis for the outputs. These objectives form what? Basis for the output. So when we are bringing them in, when we are setting up, we call them objectives. By the time we realize them, they become outputs, they become outcomes, they become impacts. Do you get it? So having clarity in your objective, having smart objectives is key in public speech. And with good objectives, clear objectives, smart objectives, simple, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound objectives, setting these kind of objectives will make you as a presenter smart. It will make you as a presenter smart. And if you miss it in objectives, you've missed every other thing. No matter the topic you want to choose, if you miss the objective, you've missed out in the whole presentation phase. You've missed out the content. Okay. So setting objectives is key. All right. And then when setting objectives, please note, your objectives need to be actionable. Actionable. Please, can you type that in the chat room? Please, can you type actionable? Actionable. Your objectives need to be actionable. Actionable. Write that in the chat room, please. Actionable. Your objectives need to be actionable. 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 Write that down. Actionable. Right. Actionable. So you use active verbs in developing objectives. You use active verbs. And your objectives need to be responsibility driven. So please type in the chat room responsibility. Responsibility. Your objectives need to be responsibility driven. Responsibility. Type in the chat room responsibility. I will explain these two things so that when you are developing your objectives, you pay attention to it. Now, by actionable, we mean it's something that is handleable, it's something that is tangible, it's something that is doable, it's something that is practicable. For instance, if you go to the objective of this course, we say by the end of this course, participants will be able to develop, will be able to master, will be able to present, will be able to evaluate. Now, these works on themselves places some sense of responsibility, assignment to the audience. Now, listen, we said will be able. So whether you like it or not, you have the responsibility to do it. You have gone through this training, so you should be able to, no, sorry, not should be, you will be able to do it. So that will be able, not should be able, not may be able. No. We are not doing probability. We are saying will be able. So as soon as you're done, there is a responsibility that automatically comes on you to be able to do. Did you get what I just said now? Do you understand that side of it? After going through a public lecture, it is your responsibility at that point is not probability. You went there to gain skills, knowledge, competency, to be able to, not should be able to. Do you get the point? So when you are developing your objectives, you need to place responsibility. Of course, these people that are coming to listen to you, they are coming because they want to be able to carry out their responsibilities effectively. So you should help them become more responsible. Your assignment at the end of the day is not to make them parabolic people. Your assignment at that point is to make them more responsible. So they will be able to. So after this class, you will be able to present public speech. You will be able to choose the kind of technique for your presentation. You will be able to analyze speeches. You will be able to evaluate presentation. You will be able to. These things give you responsibility, or give the audience responsibility. So having actionable words or actionable verbs and then placing them on responsibility keeps them on alert, knowing fully well that, oh, I am here to be able to do this. Not that I should be able, not that I may be able, but I will be able. And that proactive mindset places them on the responsibility side of the seat so that they can ask you questions. Sir, at the end of the day, you say we will be able to develop contents that are sellable. But I went for a workshop some time ago. It was the title of the workshop was contract and procurement management. Being a project manager, that was key to me. So I paid and I got it. It was a 5 days workshop. I sat down day one. I was wondering, I looked at the content, I said, the only thing I'm seeing here is public procurement at public. Where is the contract side of it? Where is the project side of it? I was not seeing all those things. Where is the planning side of it? I was not seeing. We were only reading procurement acts. Then at the final day, when we were to do evaluation of the program, I told them, I said, the objective first, the team is different from the objective. The objectives are different from the delivery. And then there was this lady, she said she came from Federal Medical Center, Zaria. Okay, she came from Federal Medical Center, Zaria. She was in the procurement department. And her organization sent her there such that by the end of the program, she will be able to develop a procurement document, evaluate procurement contract procedures and all of that. So she now made the statement. She said, this is what they told her to come and do, but as she has spent 5 days in Abuja, she can't develop contract document. She can't make a presentation on contract document. She can't even evaluate. If they even ask her what are contract documents, she cannot even say for sure. So what will she tell her employer if she gets back? And then the head of the organization now told the coordinator of the program to sit down with the woman so that they can know how to help her out. So what, in essence, am I saying? When you set actionable, responsible-based or responsibility-based objectives, it places expectations on the audience. So if you were to go for a public speech engagement and then you told them that you're going to teach them how to master their marriages, and then you went there and you were telling them how to become financially free, you have left the objective, or perhaps you've left the team. And since you've left the team, obviously you've left the topic. You've left the objectives. So we need to be guided by objectives. We need to be guided. Every line of statement in our main content should reflect or should be traced towards achieving a particular objective that we've set in the beginning. Okay, very, very important. Okay. What I said now, does it make sense? If you have a question for me, please, at any point you can interrupt me and ask me your question, because this area is key. This area we are looking at now is key. Even if we have nothing else to talk about after now, this is key, right? The next area is your speech content or outline. Sorry, that should be outline, not online. That should be outline. Your speech content or outline. Now, remember, your objectives has your first of all, you set your team. Your team was developed based on the needs assessment you did from your audience, right? So you developed a team, and your needs assessment provided us with a rationale, the background of the problem statement, why it needs to be solved, and then the proposed impact at the end of the day, right? That gives us the rationale, right? Now, from the rationale, you set objectives, clear objectives on what you want to achieve. Now, to help make matters best, it is good if you have one objective tied to one content. If you have an objective tied to a content, it helps. If you have an objective tied to a content, every objective tied to a content, it helps you better. So for instance, you say by the end of this session, the audience will be able to make right choices of the kind of food to eat. All right, they will be able to make the right kind of choices. So in your content, you can now have a discussion topic or a subtopic on making the right choice of food to eat. Do you get it? And then maybe you say they will be able to practice how to slim down. In your content, you can have practicing tips on how to slim down. So your content should reflect your topic. Your content should reflect your topic. Sometimes we set objectives and then we have so much bogus content that at the end of the day, we don't even care about whether the objective of the content is met or not. For instance, most of us in the academic world, we set objective, we set hypothesis, and then we go we put several content that at the end of the day, the person even doing the project does not even know what he's writing again. Okay, so we need to be clear on the objective and then need to be clear on the content. We need to know which of the content, out of the content, listen to me, please listen. This is very, very important. I need you to know this. In developing your content, please note this is very, very important. You can write it down anyway. There is must know. There is should know. Listen to me again. In developing your content, there is must know and there is should know. In most cases, you have would know. You have must know, you have should know, and you have would know. Now, in your presentation, knowing fully well that you have a limited time, your primary focus is on must know first. After you finish must know, you go to should know. After you finish should know and there is still time, you go to would know. I'll repeat it again. There is must know, should know, and would know. Please, can you type that in the chat room? Must know, should know, and would know. Must know, should know, and would know. Please kindly type that in the chat room. Must know, should know. If you're a mathematician, you can put bracket must, should, would, cover bracket, know. So if you want to represent it mathematically, open bracket must, should, would, all comma, and then bracket know. So when we open it, we have must know, should know, and would know. All right. Must know, should know, and would know. Who else is sending that? Okay. So I have must, should, would, know. Thank you. Who else is typing that? I need to be sure that we are all on the same page. Must know, should know, and would know. So in your presentations, even in setting your objective, you must know the must, you must know the should, and you must know the would. So in your material development as well, you must know the must know, should know, and would know. That's very, very important. Then from your speech content or outline, you then go to what we call your materials development. Now that you have your content, it becomes a guide to developing the material you need for your presentation or for your speech. Okay. Now that you know your outline, you can now go to source out, add flesh to those outline. Okay, add flesh to those outline. Add flesh to those outline. Add flesh to those outline. All right. Then from your materials development, like I said earlier, let us not just rely on the internet only, on Wikipedia and Google. No. Please, in your profession, search out for your professional journals. That's if your presentation is towards your professional journals. There is something I love IPM members for. We are just a body of professionals. We gather several professionals together, and that's why they call us integrated into the professional management. So we have some of our alumni members who are alumni of Lagos Business School. In fact, some of them are from some top business schools around the world. And then you see them sending in the platform, you see them sending, some will send the LBS breakfast series, some will send different luncheon, discussionary sections from different platforms. Those kind of platforms give you recent information, not that you'll be referencing 1781 in your work. If you're referencing 1781, what happens to the 2000 years? Okay, so, and then it's not that all your materials, you now have so, you now put www.so.com. All your reference is www. No, it shouldn't be that. Okay, so try industry journals, try try getting quality materials, page quality materials. Okay. If you ask me, I would say be consistent in your professional network. If you are an engineer, be consistent with your engineering network. If it is current, NSE, whichever one you people have, just be consistent in it. Not just the local body, both locally and internationally, so that you can have access to quality material. And if you're not a member of IPM yet, please plan, prepare to attend 2022 second induction coming up November 28th to December 2nd. Please plan, prepare to attend. Okay, it's just for a small token of fees. For fellows, you must be at least 20 years working experience to be a fellow, 20 years working experience. For members, you must have at least 15 years, 15 to 18 years, 15 to 18, 19 years working experience. And then for associates, you need to have at least 10 to 12 years working experience, right? And then we'll have the graduate members. You need to have 3 to 5 years working experience, or in fact, from 1 to 5 years working experience, you're just a graduate, you'll be in the graduate level. And then you have the student member. Don't worry, you're not in the student, you've passed student member, you've passed graduate member. Okay, so let's make it a deal. It's going to be one of the most amazing time we'll have. By default, we'll be having 200 public service directors in that induction. Those will be coming for their own fellowship induction too. So it's a wonderful place to network. Those that were there in June, I should sure it was a nice time. We had 100 public service directors, and in November, December, we'll be having 200 public service directors. And there will be, in our last general induction last year, we had 14 countries in attendance. We had, in Nigeria, we had about 4 countries present, and we had about 10 other countries joining us online. Those that we are online. So this year, we hope to have more countries joining us here in Nigeria, joining us in Abuja. And then we have 200 public service directors. So if you're interested in public-private sector networking, relationship building, that is the time for you to make the most of the time. All right, so plan, prepare to be there. And that is where also you could have access to quality content, quality materials you could use for your next speech presentation, okay, afterwards. Then after material development is your presentation. And I've said much about presentation in the previous slide. Then I've spoken about feedback and evaluation also, and I've also spoken about improvement. One thing I will say on improvement again is never be at the same spot you were yesterday. Get better daily. Never be at the same spot you were yesterday. Get better daily. You know, when we have the caliber of people that come to IPM trainings, it is actually humbling. Okay, that's to tell you that people are necessarily deliberate on getting better daily, irrespective of whether you're a professor, or you're a doctor, you're an engineer, you're a director. You just want to get better daily, all right? That is humbling to us. Okay, so we sincerely appreciate all of that. And to all IPM members and fellows that are always looking out for things to engage them, to expand their capacity, it's always an amazing time with all of us. Okay, so always ensure to improve yourself. With IPM, you're sure to improve yourself for free. Okay, you're sure to improve yourself for free. And then if you need backup, you're sure to have the one of the most recognized global certifications from here. All right. Okay, do I have question here? Because we have taken a trio. We have driven for 1 hour 45 minutes. I think it's time I take a question. It's time I take a question. Comment, question. Comment, question. Okay, so can we do something? Let's take an exercise very briefly. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, please kindly visit our YouTube page. If you've not followed us on YouTube, please kindly visit our YouTube page and then follow us on YouTube, so that you can have access to all of the recorded classes. So I've just posted the link there. Click on the link. We are taking a 2 minutes break. Click on the link, visit our YouTube. Just click on subscribe and click the notification button. Don't worry, there is no charges to that. Click on subscribe, click on the notification bell so that when classes are uploaded, you can have all of that. And while you're doing that, please be reminded on this other program. I think I saw someone enter this class. Let me see if the person is still here. Okay, so I saw Dr. Emmanuel Chenge. Dr. Emmanuel Chenge, our class governor. Dr. Emmanuel Chenge is 2022 Badge 1 class governor for class of fellows, college of fellows. So you're welcome, sir. And he's a director from National Agency for Control of AIDS. You're welcome, sir. So if you're joining us, if you've not followed us on YouTube, kindly follow that link. Join us on YouTube as you're taking your sip of water or coffee. In the 2 minutes break we have, please let's be reminded, August 11th to 13th, we have a course on corporate governance consulting. So if you want to learn more about corporate governance consulting, please join us August 11th to 13th. August 18th to 20th, we'll be having business development consulting. Business development consulting, August 18th to 19th. So August is fully loaded for us. For those of us who are interested in human resource management certification, we'll be having the HR Foundation certification course, August 23rd to 27th. At the same time, we'll be having the Associate Human Resource Certification course, August 23rd to 27th. Then we'll be having Project Management Professional, Certified Associate Project Management Professional course, August 29th to September 3rd. They are all weekday programs. Then we'll have Office Management and Administration, starting September 5th to 9th. And then September 3rd to 24th, we'll be having the senior levels of our certification programs. We'll have the Senior Global Human Resource Management Certification, and then we'll have the Lead Project Management Professional course, September 3rd to 24th. October 4th to 6th, we'll be having Emotional Intelligence course. All of these programs will be conducted online, so you're welcome to join us. And then we also have the Chartered International Management Consultant course. The Chartered International Management Consultant course is done in partnership with the Chartered Institute of Management Consultants USA. So in case you want to become a Chartered Management Consultant, you will join us October 11th to 14th. October 11th to 14th. I've already said by November 28th to November 28th to December 2nd, that will be our annual induction and conference. And it's going to be a public-private sector kind of conference. We'll be having at least 200 public service directors, and then we'll be having private sector MD CEOs, heads of departments, heads of units, private directors, business executives that will be joining us also. So if you're interested in public-private sector networking and relationship, then that will be a perfect opportunity for you. If you want to be part of our sponsors and partners, please feel free to connect with us so that we can have the best of time in that program. Okay, so someone said, I'm interested in the Associate Human Resource Certification. Kindly assist with notification as and when due. Okay, so just make sure you're registered for the course, and then you get all the updates in your email. And also make sure you are in the WhatsApp group. When the WhatsApp group, definitely you get all the information. Okay. Any question, any comment, any contribution? I'm sure we are back from the break. Okay, questions, comment, contributions. Questions, comment, contributions. All right. Now, quickly, let's look at mastering public speaking techniques. This is very, very important. 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 You've developed your material. Okay, you identified the niche, you develop a content on it, or you set objective, you develop content on it. You are ready to present. How do you know the best techniques to use? And at what point do you need those techniques? Basically, in presentation techniques, whether it is public speaking or training or meeting, or the case may be, or classroom work, you have two basic approaches or two basic techniques. You have the pedagogy techniques and the andragogy techniques. The pedagogy techniques has to do with when the large percentage of your audience deals with children. Okay, so people from the age they can hear you talk to 18 years. Okay, so it's like a one-way kind of communication thing. Okay, one-way kind of communication, one-way kind of communication. That's a pedagogy. Okay, pedagogy. Then you have the andragogy. Andragogy is adult-based learning techniques. Adult-based learning techniques. And you use it mostly when your audience are adults. If you use pedagogy techniques when you're supposed to use andragogy techniques, your presentation will not be effective. If you use andragogy when you're supposed to use pedagogy, your presentation will not be effective. At some point, you may have a blend of pedagogy and andragogy. At some point, you may have a mix of pedagogy and andragogy. Pedagogy is mostly one way. For instance, lecturing could be considered as both pedagogy and andragogy. Pedagogy in the sense that the lecturer or the teacher is the one passing out this knowledge to the people. It's expected that the people don't know this. So the lecturer or the teacher is passing this out through lecturing or teaching, right? But at some point, you may have pedagogy and andragogy playing. For instance, you have a mix where you use lecturing to deliver your speech, and then maybe you use discussion to harmonize understanding. So you're using pedagogy, lecturing, you're using andragogy, discussion. Now, in adult-based kind of learning, one thing is that these people are not complete novice. Even if they are considered novice in the subject matter, they have experiences that can relate to that subject matter. So they cannot be considered as complete novice. And that's why the approach you use in training them or speaking to them will be different. In fact, when you do adult-based kind of speaking, you are possibly going to hear more from them. Like I said earlier, in public speaking, adult-based, you learn from them first before they learn from you. You just need to be humble first to learn from them, and then they will learn from you. Okay, very, very important. Very, very important. So let's look at these two together. So before I proceed, can you help me do something? Can you type pedagogy and andragogy techniques in the chat room? Pedagogy and andragogy. Can you please type pedagogy and andragogy? Can you type pedagogy and andragogy? Can you type pedagogy and andragogy? Don't mind the language. So pediatrics, children, andra, adults. Okay, I'm waiting. Pedagogy and andragogy techniques. Pedagogy and andragogy techniques. Pedagogy and andragogy. Okay, so pedagogy and andragogy techniques. Thank you so much for typing. So pedagogy and andragogy. Okay. So before we move to the next slide now, let's quickly look at it together. So what are the things you think pedagogy will be able to achieve? What will be the advantages of pedagogy and disadvantages of pedagogy? What will be the advantages of andragogy and disadvantages of andragogy? So this is an open discussion now. So let's have an open discussion. In the next 5 minutes, let's have an open discussion. Pedagogy is children-driven, andragogy is adult-driven. Now, what do you think will be the advantages and disadvantages of pedagogy? What do you think will be the advantages and disadvantages of andragogy? Let's discuss this. Having laid what the both are. If your hand is up, we'll unmute you and hear from you. Pedagogy, what will be the advantages of pedagogy and disadvantages of pedagogy? What will be the advantages and disadvantages of andragogy? Okay, so I'm seeing Charles Alpha. Please, Charles Alpha, kindly unmute and let's hear from you.
Hello?
Yes, good day, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Good
hear
afternoon,
you.
sir.
Good afternoon.
All right. The advantage of pedagogy, just like you introduced us to now, in this case, you are dealing with children, and then you may not have full, or it may appear to them anyhow you wish. You may not have, it may take them because they don't have the knowledge of what you are teaching them. And so you can decide to go anyway and just do your teaching, your presentation. But that is the advantage of it. The disadvantage of it is that you may not be able to learn anything from them personally.
Okay.
That is the disadvantage from the pedagogy. Then the andragogy is that you equally learn from the discussion that you are passing across to the audience. And so it's going to be a two-way thing. While you are passing information, you are passing knowledge, you are equally getting feedback, and from the feedback, you are learning as well.
Okay.
That is my contribution.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Charles. From the chat room, Engineer Shuaibu said, advantages of pedagogy, facilitator is in charge. I think just collaborating with what Mr. Charles said, the facilitator can decide to, or the teacher or the lecturer can decide to go anywhere he chooses. You are the one that will now go and find out if what the lecturer said or what the teacher said is true or not. Okay, well, the facilitator, the lecturer, the teacher is absolutely in charge. Okay, then he said for advantage of andragogy, there is interactive, also collaborating with what Mr. Charles said. Discussion, you learn from them, they learn from you. Okay. Any other one? I still have 2 minutes. Any other one? Advantages of andragogy, advantages and disadvantages of pedagogy, advantages and disadvantages of andragogy. Someone is opening up the mic. So I'm going to allow you, just if you want to speak, just unmute and let's hear from you. Just unmute and let's hear from you. Yes, Mr. Friday, go ahead. Mr. Friday Obong, your mic is open. Okay, we can't hear you. Is anyone hearing Mr. Friday Obong from his or her end? I'm not hearing him from you. Okay, Mr. Friday, sorry, I can't hear you. But I know you're trying to say something. Your mic is open. Okay, can we have any other person I have 1 more minute. Don't tell me that I've been doing pedagogy. Yes, Ime, please go ahead.
Nobody did.
Okay. Ime, if you want to say something, please go ahead. It seems you are in a bus or on transit. Okay, so please, I want to confirm which technique have we been using in this class? Is it pedagogy or is it andragogy? If it is pedagogy, type 1-1. If it is andragogy, type 2-2.
How people do they use their brain?
Okay, Ime, please go ahead.
Precious now.
Ime, you want to say something? Okay, so I'm seeing 2-2 andragogy, but it seems I'm the one taking a large portion of the discussion, or we assume it's meant to be andragogy, but I'm the one taking bulk of the discussion. So let's make it fully andragogy, so that you talk, I talk. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So quickly, let's look at some of these techniques. Thank you for your input. Pedagogy techniques is mostly from teacher to student or from lecturer to student, mostly one way. Examples of such, you have note-taking, repetitions, recitations, guided imagery, sketches and paintings, examinations, and others. These are some of the examples. Okay. For andragogy technique is mostly a two-way form of communication. Examples, we have the lecturing, discussions, brainstorming, syndicates, role-playing, demonstrations, case study, storytelling, exercises, projects, simulations, field visits, and others. So let me have some examples now. Can someone help give us more examples on pedagogy and more examples on andragogy? So you have just write pedagogy and then you list the examples. You can you can also unmute in case you want to give a voice. You can unmute and then we will hear from you. Pedagogy, you give us example of pedagogy. And then another one, examples of other examples of andragogy. Can we have them now? You can unmute to make it faster so that we can move forward. Examples of andragogy. If there are ones you've used before, you can tell us the ones you've used. Okay, tell us the examples you've used. Any hand up? You can unmute, let's hear from you.
Hello, can I talk?
Yes, Mr. Charles, welcome. Go back. Continue.
All right. I don't know if the example of pedagogy, we can have a pastor talking to the congregation.
That is also part of it.
Preaching.
That's preaching, yes. Thank you. Okay, so preaching is also part of pedagogy. If it is not interactive, obviously it's pedagogy. Okay.
No, it's not interactive. It's only a pastor that speaks directly to the whole chapter. At the end of the day, everybody goes home. After that, no interaction, no question, nothing.
Okay. So we are taking preaching now as a form of pedagogy. Yeah. Thank you. Is there any other one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, someone said it can be hybrid. Yes. All right, Hope, please go ahead.
Good morning, all. At this point, when we say preaching can be part of pedagogy, I agree. It can also be andragogy, because I worship with a church where at the end of the teaching section, you can ask questions and contributions can also come in. So I can also liken preaching to be andragogy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, you would have told us another example then. Okay, so if the preaching is interactive, it allows a hybrid mechanics to it, then we can consider it being andragogy. But if it is just one way, just preach and go. Okay, so someone says Sunday school is andragogy. For those who know what Sunday school is andragogy. Preaching is pedagogy. Sunday school is andragogy. Okay, can we have more? Okay, can we have more? But we can,
Okay.
just like Hope said, preaching can actually be also andragogy if we make it discussionary. Okay, I think I've been in some where some speakers make their speeches.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, sir.
All right, can I go ahead?
Yes, please, sir, go ahead.
Okay, maybe the market, can we take market system whereby a seller or buyer interact over service or goods to arrive at a particular at equilibrium to become andragogy.
Yeah, obviously. So this is called dialogue.
Okay.
That is called dialogue. So dialogue is an andragogy form of presentations or speech making. Okay. All right, thank you so much. Let's have Dr. Emmanuel Cheng. Please, Doc, kindly unmute and let's hear from you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, I think the recruitment into the membership of IPPM can be likened to a principle of andragogy, because it is based on experience, and it's based on experience. And here, it is members' life and work experiences that makes them members of this institute. And so I feel that the underlying principle of the institute into its membership recruitment is a good example of andragogy.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Cheng. Okay, so inductional exercises can also be andragogical. Okay. From the chat room, I see trainer and trainee. Trainer and trainee, trainer and trainee, trainer and trainee, trainer and trainee. Please, I may need, you may need to open and let's understand what you mean by trainer and trainee. Okay. More examples, more examples, more examples, more examples. Okay, so let's take coaching is, thank you so much, Oluwaseun. Coaching is andragogy. Okay, so apprentice. So let's say apprentice, maybe apprentice in form of coaching, mentoring. So they are all andragogy. Okay, let's take an example. Let's assume you have just been contracted by First Bank Nigeria to give a 5-minute or let's say 15-minute motivation talk to their staff. What approach will you use specifically? Now, don't mention andragogy or pedagogy. Mention specifically the kind of technique you will use. If it is discussion, you say discussion. If it is lecture, you say lecture. If it is role play, if it is multiple, just mention them. And I would like a voice, except you are in a noisy place. You have just been contracted, you submitted a proposal to First Bank to be delivering 15 minutes lecture every day to their staff at different branches, motivation speeches to help them set for the day. So what approach will you use? Okay, so Dr. Cheng said he will use distance online learning as a form of andragogy. Okay, so Engineer Godwin, it's been a while. Where did you go to? So Engineer Godwin said the discussion is andragogy. All right. Mr. Callisto said construction site pep talk is andragogy. Okay. So I think he had given me the right word I needed. So you have been contracted by First Bank to give a pep talk or to give pep talks to their staff, maybe weekly. Specifically, what technique will you use? If you're saying andragogy, which andragogical technique will you use? Is it discussion? Is it lecturing? Is it demonstration? Is it what exactly will you use? Okay, Mr. Charles, your mic is open. Let's hear from you.
Okay, I can decide to adopt through andragogical method. I can use lecturing method.
Okay.
If I am to bring in the subject matter to them in form of learning or pushing them or teaching them.
Okay.
And the point, I can bring in discussional method. So I will employ the two methods.
Okay. So lecturing and discussion. Thank you. Another person, what will you use? Remember that we just have 15 minutes for the pep talk. That's even too much. So we'll give you 5 minutes. So let's assume you have 15 minutes. Pep talk in First Bank. You just landed the contract, First Bank pep talk. So what would be your approach? Mr. Charles said he will use lecture and discussion. Let's hear from us. So which approach will you use? So Oluwaseun said, I will use instructor-led and role play approach. So inevitably you're saying lecturing and role play. Thank you. That's from Oluwaseun. So role play and lecturing, we'll have lecturing and discussion from Mr. Charles. Which other approach? What will be your best approach in 15 minutes to achieve the objective of motivating the staff so as to enhance productivity for that day? Okay. Oh, I love this. Rosemary. Oh, Director Rosemary, I didn't know you were here. Okay. So Mrs. Rosemary says she will use storytelling, and I love that. Storytelling, excellent. Which other approach will any other person use? Storytelling, good, great. Okay, so somebody said that would be nice. Okay, so we have gotten lecturing or instructor-led with discussion, role play. Now we have storytelling. Remember that we have 15 minutes. Which other approach, which other technique can we use? Of course, we know that it is basically an andragogical approach. So which other andragogy technique will we use? Who is with me? Hope I'm not alone. Okay, so Mr. Callisto said conversations that will involve questions and answers. So conversations. Okay, so we have had lecturing or instructor-led discussions, conversations that will lead to Q&A, storytelling, okay, role play. Which other one? Remember, we have 15 minutes for this pep talk. That because First Bank is so, wow. Someone said he will use a puzzle. Wow. I'm enjoying this class. I'm even getting to know what I don't know now. Rhetorical question. That is lovely. So questioning, still discussions, okay? Conversations, discussions, questioning can also, but I'm seeing some crazy things here. I'm seeing storytelling, role play, puzzle. That is lovely. Okay, which other which other approach? I need to learn more. I need to learn more. I think I've learned puzzle, I've learned storytelling in 15 minutes. Of course, anybody that can do storytelling in 15 minutes and still deliver objectives, that person must be that person has gone beyond expert. He is now above expert. And the person that will use puzzle for pep talk in 15 minutes or less, that person has got, that means the person has mastered the art of public speaking, mastered his or her audience completely, mastered the objectives, mastered the expected outcomes completely. That's lovely. Dr. Cheng said a combination of case studies, lovely, role playing, simulations, and self-evaluation. That's great. So case studies in 15 minutes. If you're able to achieve that, that would be lovely, beautiful. Okay. If you're also able to achieve simulation in 15 minutes, that would be awesome. In fact, some of the crazy things we are saying here, if we can achieve these things in 15 minutes, they can boost productivity immensely, especially discussion, role play, conversation, puzzle, case study, simulation. This practical driven andragogical technique, if we can use them in 15 minutes, wow, you'll be shocked the kind of performance you will see in the organization. But it's something that we need to master. All right. Okay. Then he said staff experiences at work. Okay, staff experiences at work is it really a technique? Staff experiences, is it really a technique? I will consider that as a factor that will determine the kind of technique we will use. For me, I will consider staff experiences, because the staff experiences will determine whether they are still in the teenage age or they've gone to the adult level. Okay, I really enjoy this kind of interaction. At least I've learned some crazy things here. Now, I went for a workshop, another workshop. Okay, oh God. And I had two speakers. We were in that workshop. Of course, you know, I'm a management consultant, so once in a while I go for training on training techniques or the presentation techniques and all of that. So this was on training techniques, training methodology specifically. And this particular facilitator, one of them used for like 45 minutes, we were doing role playing, and it was fun. Nobody wanted to leave because everyone had a role. If you didn't have a role, then your role is to sit down, watch the people on the stage, and then evaluate what they are doing, and then compare the way they acted to the objective that was set. Their role, did it help you understand the objective? You get that? Now, at some other one, we were just using case studies. For 45 minutes, we are doing case study analysis. And you know what these things do is that they give you visual representation of problems, either the ones that have been identified or prospective ones. So it gives you, case studies gives you well-analyzed case studies anyway, and well-guided case studies can give you a preempted experience on how to deal with problems of such when they come up. Okay, then another lecturer used the brainstorming technique, like what we just did now. Okay, brainstorming technique. So everyone, this is the objective. Develop situations to meet with these objectives. Develop situations to do what? To meet the objectives stated. So these things challenges our minds, challenges our intellect, and help us to remove the boss. First of all, it will help us to open the boss, and finally remove the boss completely. Okay? Because the truth is, when it comes to mastering the art of public speaking, you are the one that will know which one that suits you best. The one that helps you engage most, because the whole essence of mastering this technique is to engage with your client, engage with your audience. So by the end of the day, the one that helps you to engage most with your client, that's the one you're interested in. Okay, that's the one you're interested in. All right. And I've been in a training also where the speaker, in fact, they are speaking, people are sleeping. And we paid for the training, though. It's not as though the training is free. In fact, let me say, how many people have been in that experience before? You went for a workshop and the speaker is speaking and people are sleeping. And sometimes you see people standing up like 3 times because they don't want to sleep. They stand, go out and come back. If you've been in such experience before, just type 11 in the chat room. You've been in such experience where people are not perceived not to be carried along. Okay, so they sleep, wake up, and ask their colleague, "What did he say?" When they sleep and wake up, they ask their colleague, "Have they issued the certificate?" They sleep again and wake up. Is it time for tea break? God. I remember when I was doing one of my courses, and this colleague of mine, we went to this training together. He went for a program all night, and then we went for this. That was when I was doing my health and safety course. So this was the last day of the program, and we were to write exam the same day. So this young man, immediately it was raining when we entered. So immediately he entered the classroom, he started sleeping. He woke up around 2. And I said, Dami, his name is Dami. I said, Dami, Dami, this exam, hope you will pass it. He said, if I will fail the exam, let me go and collect my money and go home. But the truth is that Dami just slept in that last class. Okay, and funny enough, the lecturer never bothered to notice if somebody was sleeping or not. So tomorrow we'll be looking at presentation skills and styles, what you should be conscious of as you're presenting. Okay, we'll be looking at that tomorrow in our last class. So if you have experienced this kind of ordeal, please don't allow people to experience. You could imagine how dissatisfied you were with such kind of ordeal. Now, don't ever allow people to face this kind of ordeal in your presentation. Always feel free, be innovative, be creative in your presentations, be innovative. There is nothing wrong in taking a pause and taking a break. If you notice that people are getting dizzy, people are getting sleepy, feel free to take a break. Let them take some exercises, stand up, stretch out. Let's walk out to the door and come back. Let's go to the canteen and come back. Do something, and then when you come back, give them an assignment that will get them engaging, interacting. The most important thing is, by the end of the day, the objective of the speech, of the engagement, need to be achieved. Right? Some other work you need to do, some other speaking engagement you need to do might involve excursions, field visits. For instance, those of us that are into engineering, development, civil works and all of that, you might have to use field visits. Okay, you might have to use field visits. Now, for some of us that do strategic programs, strategic courses, for instance, next year we are having a program, a structured program for public service. It's called the Structured Advanced Management, Entrepreneurship and Leadership Development Program. And it is a highly strategic program. Now, by next year, April, May, we'll be taking them out on excursion to Ghana. Okay. That excursion will have to deal with entrepreneurship and business development. So let them go and know how this entrepreneurship and business development is done in other countries, so that by the time we come back to Nigeria, we can find similitudes. Okay, we can easily innovate, we can easily modify, we can easily reinvent. Okay, and by 2024, the people coming for the program in 2024, we'll be taking them to places like Rwanda and Kenya. Then accordingly, our target in that program is just agribusiness, all right? They will learn leadership, they will learn entrepreneurship, they will learn management development, okay? And the end part thereof is that we want to have the impact, the proposed impact here is that we want to have increased, sustained livelihood. We want to have productivity, effectiveness, and efficiency in public service. We want to have democracy, inclusive governance, public-private sector partnership, and all of that. This program is not only for public service, it's for both private and public, right? So in case you need a program like that, of course, you need to need a program like that, all right? So you join us on that adventure. And for those of us who have been looking out for our MBA program, yeah, we are starting our MBA program very soon because we are gradually rounding up all of the MOUs needed, all of the licenses needed, and you get our report very soon. So what led me to this is that some of the programs that you do that will involve public speaking might need field visits, excursions. They will also talk of panel discussions, right? Very, very important. All right. Okay. Now, do I have any question? Okay, so I have a question from Dr. Chengi. He said, from the lectures we've had so far, the steps to adopt in speaking, in public speaking, are tilted towards preparing for controlled audience. I hope tomorrow you will take us on how to speak to a hostile audience. Okay, so that means we'll be doing peace building tomorrow and conflict resolution. Okay, so thank you for calling our attention to that. So while we are looking at presentations, we have to take cognizance of hostile audience. So maybe you need to be the one going to speak to IPOB or bandits or Boko Haram or ISWAP. How do you get to speak to them? Please, that part of speaking is called arbitration and mediation. Okay, it's called arbitration and mediation and negotiation. All right, so we have a course on that. We have a course on conflict resolution, where we deal with alternative dispute resolutions, emotional intelligence. We'll also look at that. This case, we'll look at that in emotional intelligence. Hopefully by tomorrow, we'll look at the different audience and then how to manage them while speaking to them to avoid eruption of issues. Okay. Okay, so Dr. Chenga wants to be a mediator between ASU and Minister of Education. Okay, well done work. Okay, so let's proceed. So I have a little classwork which we have already dealt with in a moment, but we are going to go into breakout sections and then we'll deal with this. And then when we come back, we'll take 30 minutes. When we come back, we'll have each group presenting on their own accord. So we're going to divide ourselves into 4 groups. We're going to divide ourselves into 4 groups. Even if you're the only one in your group, please make sure you come up with something. So group 1, you're going to deal with the rationale. Group 2, you're going to deal with the objectives. Group 3, you're going to deal with the content. And group 4, you're going to deal with the methodology. And what is the contract here? In our 50th conference, the Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Technology has proposed the theme, Strategic Leadership Development, an Effective Tool for Nation Building. Your team has been contracted to develop and deliver this speech. As a team, develop. So we are going to break ourselves into 4 groups. Group 1, you're going to work on the rationale. for this, using Nigeria or perhaps using your own country as a case study. Okay, or sorry, let's just use Nigeria as a case study. Nigeria, a case study. Okay, Nigeria, a case study. So this topic, strategic leadership development, an effective tool for nation building. Group 1, your own is just to develop the rationale. This topic, is it a necessity now? Let's look at the background of what is happening in the country and find out whether we really need strategic leadership development at this point. Number 2, or group 2, we have to deal with raising the objectives of this program. So what do you think will be the objectives? Group 2, just objective number 1, by the end of this speech or this workshop or this conference, participants will be able to list all the objectives. Group 3, your own is to develop the content. What and what should be covered? What do you think should be the content, the topics that need to be covered in this speech? And group 4, your own is what methodology, what technique, presentation technique do you think will be the best? Technique or techniques will be the best. This program is a 3 days conference. Okay, it's a 3 days conference. So develop your rationale such that it will be covered in 3 days. The objectives will be covered in 3 days. The content will be covered in 3 days, and the methodology can serve for 3 days. Any question for me? I'm going to break us into groups. I'm going to break us into 4 groups. Yeah, 4 groups. And then in the next 30 minutes, or by 2 p.m. West African time on the dot, we come back for our presentation, and then we'll call it a day for today. Do I have any question? Any question? Any question? Any comment? Question, comment? Okay, so if I can break us out into groups, please kindly type 1 in the chat room. If you're ready for the class assignment, please kindly type 1 in the chat room. All right, so I am also seeing Honorable Femi Ganduno, our alumni president, alumni board president from the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. Honorable Femi, you're welcome, sir. I cited you yesterday. Thank you for always being available. Okay, so now that we are ready, you're going to see a pop-up telling you to join a group. Please just join the group. Okay, just accept and join. In the group, don't deal with everything, just deal with your own point. Group 1, the rationale, develop the rationale, strategic leadership, an effective tool for nation building. Using Nigeria as a case study, give us a background on why this lecture should hold, or this conference on this theme should hold. Group 2, your own is to develop actionable objectives, responsibility-based objectives, smart objectives for this topic. Group 3, tell us the content. Group 3, since this is a 3 days workshop, give us at least six critical areas, 6 critical topics that need to be reviewed or that need to be taken into consideration. Group 4, tell us the most appropriate methodologies or techniques that we can use in achieving the set objectives. Are we ready? If we are ready, please look out on your screen. You will see the pop-up coming. Please kindly join, and then let's have this. By 2 p.m. on the dot, we are returning back for the group presentation. So while you're doing this, while you're doing that, get someone to prepare or get someone to present for your group. Okay. Okay. Okay, so in group 1, we have Charles Alpha, Dr. Chenge, Professor Former, and Engineer Ahmed. Room 2, we have Surveyor Callistus, Dr. Alice, Mr. Friday, and Ime. Room 3 will have Honorable Femi, Honorable Godwin, and Mrs. Rosemary. And room 5, we have our coordinator, Austin Ike. So we have just 2 people in group 4. Okay, Mr. Ike, you can join them and help them. Oluwaseun Osadumi and Engineer Jide Timothy. So group 1, your own is the rationale. Group 2, your own is the objective. Group 3, your own is the content. Group 4, your own is the methodology. So after 30 minutes, we are coming back. Enjoy your breakout session. So you see the pop-up on your screen, please kindly accept and then move to your classroom. If you have any challenge, please let us know. Group 1, everyone in group 1 has joined. Group 2, Dr. Alice is not there. Ime and Dr. Alice are not yet there. Room 3, Femi Gandono has not joined. Room 4, Oluwaseun has not joined. So if you have not joined, please join. If you have not joined, please join.
Hmm? Anyway.
Hello, Ime. Ime, can you hear me? Ime Mokolu, can you hear me? All right, Oyekola Idowu Ade Rike, you're welcome. We are currently on a breakout session, so the class will be back in by 2 p.m. So would you want us to add you to a group, or you will just want to hang around till 2? Oyekola. Oyekola, would you want to be added to a group, or you would like to just wait for them to come back?
I would like to. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, man.
Yes, sir. Well done, sir. I would like to be added to group.
Okay, so let me add you to group 3. So I'll be adding you to group 3. Kindly accept the invitation. And when you get there, you ask them what they're doing. So Oyekola, I've assigned you to group 3. Kindly accept the invitation so that you can join group 3. Oyekola, you have been assigned to group 3. Kindly accept group 3 and be part of the discussion. All right, we are welcome back. I trust you can hear me loud and clear. Please, if you can hear me loud and clear, kindly type 1 in the chat room. If you can hear me loud and clear, please kindly type 1 in the chat room. If I believe every group would have been closed by now, so everybody's back to class. Okay. All right, so we are all welcome back. So the topic of discourse is on our screen. So we are going to take the first group 1. You have to give us the rationale. Please, you have 2 minutes for your rationale. Group 2, you have 2 minutes. Group 3, you have 2 minutes. And group 4, you have 2 minutes. So can we have group 1 give us the rationale, the background of this discussion on strategic leadership development and effective tool for nation building? Please, group 2, you can unmute and let's hear from you what you people agreed on. The speaker for group 2, you can unmute. Let's hear from you.
Hello.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, this is group 1.
Okay, you're welcome, sir.
The rationale. Yeah, this is andragogic learning, so we need to do what we need to do. The rationale for strategic leadership development as an effective tool for nation building. Group 1, we were required to look at the rationale for this. And we started by looking at the main objective of strategic leadership. And we reduced it to the fact that it's required to streamline where the strategic leadership, it streamlines processes, it tries to boost strategic productivity, it promotes innovation and cultivates an environment that will encourage all stakeholders. What we mean here, strategic leadership in a nation doesn't necessarily be that you must be either the president. At the various levels we are, in the various MDAs, we are leaders in our right, which is why we choose the word stakeholders. That is, even in our ministries, even in our homes, we are leaders. We're productive. To some extent independent, to push forward for their own ideas. We also felt that given the challenges we have in Nigeria today, the focus in leadership should be tilted towards economy. So we imagine that with a strategic leadership, economic development of Nigeria as is dependent on good leadership for it to get out of the what we are. This is particularly so because the core of a nation are directly linked to the equity and equal distribution of resources. So if this, we looked at the Bragan strategic leadership. So what character do you need in leadership? So we say leadership for strategic development of a nation requires the character to know the right thing to do, even when it is hard, and even in tough times, such as the times that we are in. It takes the character to understand the difference between a passing fancy and what is lasting and true. This is what leaders in all facets in Nigeria, from the family level, we need to understand for this nation to develop. We also discovered that leadership for effective tool for nation building requires resilience. The knowledge in resilience, we require that the knowledge you have are not defined by what people say about you. Generally, you are defined by what you choose, how you act, the problems you solve, and how you unlock the potentials in others. Of course, in strategic leadership, and for it to impact effectively for nation building, there must be reward and incentive systems. Just like we have reward and incentive systems integral part of leaders. And so in our workplaces, we encourage that in order to contribute to effective leadership, national building, there should be a reward system, a reward and incentive programs that will encourage employees and help them to reach their strategic goals. So within this short time, this is what we have been able to put together, even though there are many more, because when you're looking at the rationale for strategic leadership, you can pull it across social, economic, political, and other extraneous development sectors. So for now, that's what we're able to key down. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cheng from Group 1. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. From the rationale, they said that Nigeria needs leadership towards transforming the economy, and then leadership to promote productivity, promote effectiveness and efficiency, equity, fairness, and equal resource allocation, competence and character to drive transformation, resilience, effective reward systems, effective incentive systems. So these are the prospective impacts we want to see by this program. All right, thank you so much, Group 1. So Group 2, let's have the objectives. Now that we've seen why we need to have this training, let's look at the objectives. Group 2, please, the Group 2, you can unmute and let's hear from you. Group 2, your work is to develop the objectives. Where is Group 2? Where are our Group 2 people? Group 2, you must be somewhere, you must be here. Mr. Friday Obong, you're in Group 2.
Yes.
Yes, so let's hear from you, your colleague.
I was expecting my man to report, but I've not seen him again.
Okay, maybe network threw him out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what we develop as our content.
No, objective, not content. Objective.
As our objective, sir. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we develop as our objective is we scale it in this form: economy, environment, political instability, and security. Since it is a 3-day program, we look at the economic sabotage as it leads to our losing our GDP, because there are a lot of shady deals that are being done. When the government came up with the issue of the modular refineries, it will have helped. Are we together?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. The modular refineries will have helped in streamlining both employment and other facilities that will drive the economy. 2, the environment, the pollutants and the health issues, especially in the oil and gas industry. The crude method of refining is danger associated with the activities of the locals. 3, the political instability, which leads to leadership will. It was a good thing when the government brought the payment system that will stand the test of time.
Okay, sorry, sir, before you proceed, this is looking more like this is looking bigger than we thought. In simple terms, number 1, what is your number 1 objective for this speech? What do we intend to achieve by number 1?
that will improve our GDP if
Okay.
we can.
So we have improved GDP.
Yes.
Okay, number 2.
The environment. Our environment will be. Our environment will take care of the dangers associated with activities of oil refineries that are done in a crude way, in a crude manner.
So will the workshop promote environmental awareness or develop environmental policies, or it will
develop environmental policies?
Even
though we have them in place, it should encourage the government to
encourage the implementation of environmental policies.
Yes.
Okay. Number 3.
Political instability. He said that the government has a good ideas and have a lot of things in place. But the monitoring, for example, we see that the Accountant General of the Federation has been able to embezzle so much. And that is just one example. There are others in that region. If the government have the willpower, the leadership willpower to set up some special courts to take care of these people, we will set an example whereby people who are involved in these things will either run away or do something different.
Okay, so let's summarize point number 3.
So
that point number 3, what do we write there now?
Point number 3.
What should we write?
Develop a framework.
Okay, it should develop a framework.
Yes.
Okay.
That would take care of the leadership issues, especially the willpower of the government.
Okay, number 4.
Number 4 is on security.
Okay.
Because the way security is, it is right that we know that agriculture and education will have helped this country in no small measure. So we are of the opinion that a framework that would take care of the education department and the agriculture sector will help us to be more secure than what is happening now. Because of the security situation, a lot of people have not gone to farm to work. And because of that, you will see the amount of kidnapping and schools being out. So those are the kind of framework that we are thinking should be. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So if I get all your points, point number 1 is to improve GDP. Point number 2 is to encourage the implementation of environmental policies. Point number 3 is develop a framework for effective leadership and to curb corruption. Point number 4 is to develop framework to cater for agriculture and educational sector. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Group 2, for your discussion. Let's go to Group 3. Group 3, we have Femi Ganduno, Rosemary Ese Karbe. I know some people network has thrown them out. So Group 3, please, can we have your submission?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Everyone.
Afternoon.
I did this in company of Mr. Denike. We're the only 2 in the group. I guess network had done his worst for others. And what we considered is that we looked at leadership. This is strategic leadership development, an effective tool for nation building. And the nation that we are looking at is Nigeria. And what we had in mind is what is happening in Nigeria right now. And so we came up with the following content. First, leadership and nation building. 2, strategic planning. 3, resource mobilization for nation building. 4,
easy nation leadership and nation building.
Yes.
Strategic planning.
Yes.
Number 3 is what?
Resource mobilization for nation building.
Resource mobilization. Okay. Number 4.
Number 4, effective communication for nation building.
Communication for nation building. Okay.
Number 5, productivity for the enhancement of leadership in nation building.
Productivity enhancement for leaders. Okay, next one.
Then synergy in leadership. Synergy in leadership.
Okay.
For
Any other one?
national development.
Okay. Any other one?
Yes, there are 6. We have 6 there.
Other one. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Group 3, for your submission. Let's take Group 4. So, Group 4, how will you deliver this speech now that they've developed?
Okay, all right. For Group 4, considering the fact that we're going to have a large number of participants in attendance for such conference, to deliver this speech effectively, we decided to make use of a lecturing methodology, the application of visual aids, because we discovered the fact that some people learn from what they see, while others learn from what they hear. So in delivering this speech effectively, we're going to make use of the lecturing method, where we'll be able to pass across the information to the participants, and also run some analysis on the screen, considering the fact that we need to touch the GDP, we need to talk about mobilizing resources and all that. So all these things will be shown on the screen. That's talking about the visual aid. So we will be able to capture a large portion or a larger portion of the attendees. And also, maybe within the conference, we can actually throw out a survey. We can share a link for them to share their opinion as far as the speech is concerned. So we believe the lecturing methodology with the application of visual aid will be a good way of communicating this speech to the attendees.
Okay, so lecturing with visual aid.
Yes.
For the 3 days.
Yes, like I said, we'll send out link, we'll share a link with them for their opinions to be shared. Also, we can break them into focus group, but this is going to be dependent on the head counts in attendance. So we can break them out into focus group, where they would brainstorm and also share their opinion afterwards.
Okay. So our best bet now is lecturing method, since we are not sure of the audience, and the audience might be larger than we can break into focus groups. So we have lecturing using visual aids. Okay, thank you so much, Group 4, for your discussion. Okay, so let's round up. From what we've done now, you will see that we have a team, we have rationale, we have objectives, we have content, we have delivery method. But we decided to take out or keep aside for now evaluation, monitor and evaluation and improvement. If you look at the rationale was trying to justify that there is need for strategic leadership across all sectors of the country, from economy to politics to security to education to agriculture. And the rationale also established that if we're able to have strategic leadership in place, it will promote productivity, it will promote effectiveness and efficiency, national equity, fairness, and equal resource allocation. It will promote competence and character to drive transformation. It will also promote resilience and also said that there will be need for an effective reward system and incentive system to achieve strategic leadership implementation in the country. And so for this reason, we need to come together and have this workshop. That's according to Group 1, their rationale. Group 2 said, based on the country at hand, or country of focus, Nigeria, that if we have strategic leadership, it will bring all-round improvement across political, agricultural, educational, in fact, all sectors of the economy or all sectors of the government, there will be an improvement. And if this is done, the country will have an improved GDP. And then he said the workshop will be targeted at encouraging the implementation of environmental policies. The workshop, by the end of the conference, there will be development of framework for leadership management. There will be development of framework to cater for agri and educational sectors and others. The Group 3 said the content should be leadership and nation building. So I believe maybe overview of leadership and nation building of introductions, that they have strategic planning, resource mobilization, effective communication, productivity enhancement for leaders, leadership synergy. And then Group 4 said the critically, the fact that there is, irrespective of the fact that we did these things differently in different rooms, you still find that there is synergy in all of this, from the rationale, bring it down to the objectives. You find out that there is a synergy between the objective and the rationale. However, there is something I want to say on the objective. Improved GDP will not be an objective, because objective is something we want to see at the shortest time, if possible, the immediate output or the outcome. So this improved GDP will actually be, what do you call it now? It will be an impact, the impact we want to see. So assuming we have room for impact, we would have taken GDP as an impact. Someone's hand is up. Okay, please, sir, kindly unmute and go ahead. Hello, sir, your hand is up. Kindly unmute. Mr. Callistus, please kindly unmute and go ahead.
Hello, Dr. Binna.
Yes, welcome, sir.
Yeah, please, I want to add my voice to what my colleague has just said under objectives.
Okay, sir.
Yes, we can include this full implementation of Electoral Act. If you're talking of strategic leadership development,
yeah,
I believe the Electoral Act that has been passed into law should be given full implementation. That will as well aid all kind of remove electoral malpractices and then have good leaders in place.
That's right.
Yeah, so that is my submission for now.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So I think that's very key. If we want to have strategic leadership, we must look at the system that brings these leaders to power so that they don't deal with us anyhow. Okay, now another place I will want to, although this is like a crash program, but we did wonderfully well. The place I will want to talk about is the delivery methodology. Lecture using visual aids or audio-visual aid is excellent, but 3 days using only lecture will be boring. So people will start going visitations. when they know that it's only audio, lecture and visual they are seeing, they will start going for visitation. They now remember that there is one of their relatives that is living close to the venue. Let them just go and see her or see him before the next session. So let's look at the delivery method effectively now. Let's have our contributions. Which other approach? The lecturing method is excellent, but which other approach do we think can really engage people to remain within the conference premise within these 3 days? The focus group, based on the number we have, can work if we have enough facilities to accommodate focus groups. So we can have focus group in agriculture, focus group in politics, focus group in economy, focus group in, just spread them. Okay, so that will also work. All right, so do we have another one? The mic is open. You could just unmute and go ahead. Which other technique can we use for the delivery of this conference?
Hello, we could use case studies.
Case studies, that's lovely.
And exercises, engaging the participants.
Case studies. So when you say exercises, what kind of exercises do we give them?
Exercises, you are bringing out, they will bring out solutions. You break them. Since we have sub themes now, on each team, you now say, okay, group, carry out an exercise on this group. How do you think we can either enhance?
You can say syndicates then.
Yes, that is syndicate groups. They have to be broken into syndicate groups. For the case studies, one day, another day, it will be mainly on activity, that is exercises based on the themes that have the contents that have been delivered. For instance, if you are doing overview on leadership, then you now ask different groups to state which kind of leadership would best suit our situation now.
Okay, so we have lecture, case studies, syndicates or focus groups. All right, do we have any other one we can use?
Yeah, I think we can equally include the discussion method as well. Since since the problem in question is common, and we could see that everybody could have the idea or knowledge of what you're talking about. So let everybody bring up points, observation that will enhance the discussion.
Okay, so we have discussion. Discussion is lovely. Can we have another one? So let's just say discussion or plenary sessions. Plenary sessions. Plenary sessions. That will suffice. Okay. Which other? Yes, Dr. Chege, go ahead.
You could also show some films that are related to leadership and some of the sub themes that are associated with the conference, because that could be very captivating.
So we use visual materials.
Yes.
Shooting.
Do you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I will.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes, you shooting of visual materials.
Yes, visual materials. Yeah.
We got that. Okay. We need more. We need more. We need more. We need more.
Hello. What about surveys? We could use surveys too.
Okay. So we could use surveys too. You know, this topic is. I hope that now that we have National Productivity Center here, maybe one of these days they will take this topic and deal with it on national basis, so that we can have we will have something workable for this nation. So surveys will do us good in this kind of this thing. We are looking at this on the basis that it is a conference, right? Now let's assume that this is a workshop, maybe limited to 25 persons. Which other approaches can we use? Let's assume that this is a workshop. It's no longer a conference. We are bringing it down to a workshop. 25 to 50 participants. What other delivery methods can we add to what we already have?
Brainstorming.
Brainstorming, thank you. Brainstorming sections. Thank you. Which other section? Which other which other delivery method can we use? This is 3 days, so we need to take as many delivery methods, effective delivery methods as possible.
Documentaries, sir. Documentaries.
Documentary. Is it like a visual display of documentary or something?
Yes, so that they can see what has been done somewhere,
Okay.
and what can be done even in Nigeria.
Okay,
There could
so
be such.
This is like corroborating with Dr. Cheng's view on shooting of visual materials. So example of visual materials like documentaries. That is lovely. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Doc, we can as well adopt a statistical approach,
Okay.
like using a random sampling.
Okay.
Talk to individuals and then see their opinions towards
So we
the
have
program
statistical
approach.
Like opinion polls. Okay. This is gradually becoming a referendum. Okay. Is there something else we can think of? Let's assume now that is a workshop. Of course, if it becomes a workshop, definitely it is going to become much more strategic than what we have in a larger conference. Okay, so is there any other approach we can think of for 3 days? Any other approach we can think of in 3 days? Okay, what if we give them individual projects? Because we said there will be
Site visit.
Okay, let me take excursion in place of site visit, so they can visit.
Okay.
They can visit ministries. They can visit agencies, departments, National Assembly, even visit the presidency. Okay, so excursion we do that. Then, since we said they are going to be developing frameworks, so I think there is also need for projects. They should be able to take on personal projects of developing frameworks, personal projects of seeing that there is full implementation of electoral acts and all of that. So, okay, so by what we've just seen now, and this is just a little of just what could be done. A little of what could be done to make sure that this kind of presentation delivers results. But by default, we have someone's hand up. Okay. Samuel Callisto, your hand is up.
Yes, Doctor. Can we as well consider media houses?
Okay.
Live program.
So we consider things like streaming.
Yeah.
Okay. So that it will be much more inclusive.
Exactly.
That's lovely. We'll soon develop budget for this program. Okay. So now look at it now. Let's look at this together. This is just what we just came up with by these little breakout sessions we have. Now, if your team was to do this, you will now see the level of brainstorming work, the level of feasibility work you will do to be able to get this. But there is an aberration. This is a national program, and let's assume that this is a template. There is an aberration from this template to what we see when we go for national programs. Yes, some of them are streamed. Yes, some of them have visual aids. But we notice that some of them do not really allow for discussions. Some of them do not allow for real plenary sessions. A plenary session is just a few people on top, and they already have questions for them. So the people are not really the ones asking the questions. Okay, so I think going forward, those of us here that are directors in different ministries, at least we have director of administration, we have different directors here. So when we go back, this is a national project now. When we go back to our own agencies and we want to have programs, we invite the public. Please, let's make sure we use these tools to make sure everyone is carried along in the process and to achieve the set goals. At this juncture, I would like to say a very big thank you to everyone. We've driven on this journey from 11 o'clock, and this is 2:30 West African time. And we want to thank you all. Do we have any question, comments? I will just allow for 2 minutes, questions, comments, if any. We'll take them, else we'll be going home right now so that we can prepare for tomorrow. And that, yeah. If your mic is open and you wish to give a comment or remark, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to just ask, how do we get to the WhatsApp group we talked about earlier?
Okay, so please, Mr. Austin, can you get the WhatsApp link so that Mr. Charles can join and any other person who is not in the WhatsApp group? Please, we'll have multiple WhatsApp groups. Just join one. Anyone you join, you always receive the same information. So to avoid receiving multiple information, if you have, except you have been inducted, then we can move you to alumni group. But if you're not yet a member, any one group is enough. Okay, whether it is 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, any group you find.
And procedure to become a member too?
Okay, procedure to become a member. We have 2 options to membership. You could have direct membership, or you have membership by taking a course with us. If it is a direct membership, to be a fellow, you need at least 20 years experience, 20 years work experience and management related experience. If it is member, full member, you need at least 15 to 18 years experience. For associate, you need at least 7 years to 12 years experience. Those are the basics. For fellow, 20 years experience. Full member, at least or 15 to 18 years experience. For associates, between 7 to 12 years experience. That's for associate. And the fees, fellow is 150, member is 120, and associate is 100. So you can work on it and join us in Abuja by November 28th to December 2nd. Don't worry, we'll use andragogy techniques to make sure that you learn.
Okay, sir.
And it's also important that we say here that each of our workshops come with a professional certificate. So for 2022 induction, the certificate will be certified management consultant. So in case you want to be a management consultant, after the program, it's a 5 days exclusive program. Then after that, you have your certified management consultant certificate. All right, so your payment is covering for both your certificate and your membership. So that is 2 in 1.
All right.
Okay. Any other question, comments for us? Okay, so
Hello?
while I await.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, well, while you're rounding off, please, my comment is in form of appreciation. I want to sincerely appreciate you for this knowledge-based program. It has really been impactful, and I must commend that. So I want to sincerely appreciate you. Thank you very much. And also the participant as well, for finding time to join you. It's a great thing indeed.
Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate your appreciation. Thank you so much. Okay, now reminder for other programs. Please, if you're in this class, these 2 courses, we recommend that you take them. The first one is corporate governance. Corporate governance, whether you are in a company or you want to start a company tomorrow or you want to be a corporate governance consultant, please recommend you to join us August 11th to 13th. Okay, we'll try as much as we can not to make it bulky. Number 2 is business development. One thing we advocate for in IPM is entrepreneurship. And one of the ways to get to be entrepreneurial is to learn about business and the development thereof. Okay, so whether you want to be a business developer, a business consultant, or what have you, so please join us in that program, August 18th to 20th. Then other upcoming programs, certification programs, will have August 23rd to 27th, Global Human Resource Management, the foundation course, and the associate level course. And then August 29th to September 3rd, we'll have Associate Project Management Professionals course. September 5th to 9th, we have Office Management and Administration. Another important course that everyone here should endeavor to be part of is the Emotional Intelligence course, coming up October 4th to 6th. The Emotional Intelligence course may be a blend of both physical and online. So we are still working on it, but definitely the online version must be there. Okay, so October 4th to 6th, no matter your category, please make sure you're going to be here. I saw Brigadier General Dele Arogundade, and he came and left. So he's part of the faculty for emotional intelligence, and he's also the directing staff of the National Defense College. He's a chartered emotional intelligence professional via IIPM, and is also a fellow of IPM and also a member of the National Defense Council. So he will be part of the council taking that course on emotional intelligence, and you don't want to miss that. And then October 11th to 14th, we will be having the Chartered Management Consultant course. So if you want to get your you want to become a Chartered Management Consultant, please feel free to join us October 11th to 14th. The certificate for this course is not issued by IIPM. It is issued by Chartered Institute of Management Consultants, USA. So it's sent to us from US. Okay. Then the induction for the year and the conference for the year is coming up November 28th to December 2nd here in Abuja. It's also going to be streamed to other countries, other places, and everyone gets to join. Thank you so much for your time. Please ensure to give us a review on Google. If you've not joined us on YouTube, please ensure to do so. The link for Google review, if you gave us a review yesterday, please feel free to then follow us on YouTube so that you can have access to this material. So for Google review, please give us 5-star rating and then say something nice about the program and the institute. Okay. So Dr. Cheng, your hand is up. Please.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Doctor. I just I would like to take this opportunity, like my other participant, my co-participants, say to thank you on behalf of the whole group, especially on behalf of members of our inductees that I am their governor, for the inspiring presentation you gave us right from yesterday. When we had that induction, you did not, apart from your opening address, you did not say much throughout the induction period. But from this presentation, we have you have brought to us, it is obvious that you are extremely knowledgeable in your field and can actually link this knowledge up to any presentation you want to do. And your presentation style, I would say, is very, very great, which is why everyone was captivated by your presentation and talk. I find the whole area of your expertise is truly fascinating. And that would ask, even though you have told us there's a series of programs you have lined up, that you do this very often. It is quite intensive, and time consuming on your part, but I think that you should do this most often. On a final note, I would want to encourage all those who are participating in this and are not yet members of the IPPIM to please join. There's much more you can gain and benefit as a member of the Institute. You can see that even without being a member, this program has been opened and non-members of the Institute have benefited and participated. Don't just let this stop with you. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the good news, and let others join. Thank you, and God bless us all.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Cheng. Dr. Cheng is the Director of Administration, National Agency for the Control of AIDS. Thank you so much, sir. And we are also taking this opportunity to ask for privileges from those of us that are public sector and private sector. IPM is a training institution, so we need adoptions. So Dr. Cheng, please feel free to adopt us as the training service provider for NACA, okay? So that we can also have resources to be doing these programs often. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. And I see Mrs. Rosemary, she's a director from National Productivity Center. The DG of National Productivity Center has been very, very supportive in all of our programs. Virtually all the programs that we do, he must send someone to come. So we appreciate him. And Mrs. Rosemary, please, when you get back, I was chatting with him yesterday, but he has not yet responded to my last post. So please also send our regard to the DG. Tell him that we are waiting for his order for our full adoption as a training service provider for NPC. Okay, and Mr. Femi Garduno is in charge of PFAs at Federal Ministry of Industry. I saw Engineer Kwali here too, who was also from Ministry of Industry. So the same thing we are extending. Engineer Timothy, the same thing to you. Engineer Shoaib, the same thing to you. First Bank, we need more of your staff. In fact, we just need you people to take us as your trainer. Okay. Engineer Shaibu, you've done more than 6 courses with us. Engineer Timothy, you've done more than 6 courses with us. So these things you're enjoying, I think it's time we get our fellow colleagues corporately to also enjoy. Dr. Alice, same thing, several other people here. So thank you so much for all of the words of encouragement, and we really appreciate it. Our office is open 24/7 except on Sundays. So from Monday to Saturday, you can always see us in the office. Suite 211, Business Strom Plaza, Gudu, Abuja. Suite 211, Business Strom Plaza, Gudu, Abuja. Now, for certificate purposes, if you want certificates in this course, we would like to round up everything about this course by Friday. So if you want certificate, please, the fees are shown on the screen. Okay, the fees are shown on the screen. Members, $50,000 or $100. Non-members, $65,000 or $130. And for tomorrow's class, please, it's important we make some level of commitment to be part of the class. So minimum commitment for tomorrow's class is 15,000 naira or $30, and non-members 20,000 or $40. So thank you so much. See you tomorrow by 3 p.m. So I'll be handing over to the course coordinator, Mr. Austin. Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Banito. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. What can we say apart from just thanking you? You have been very resourceful when it comes to human capacity development. So we continue to thank you. Both in the institute, at least I am a living testimony, and in the wider society. So for our participants, those that, because I noticed some persons joining us from outside of Nigeria, welcome. Thank you very, very much for your active participation. Thank you, every other participant who have dived in to build his or her capacity in this very sphere of life. So thank you very much. And we do hope you enjoyed this very training. And we hope you will join us not same time at this moment. Tomorrow's lecture will begin at exactly 3 p.m. I think I'm right, Dr. Baniti. So 3 p.m. you have to join us for the concluding part or section of the training. And at that point, we'll call it a day for the whole program, and you will get your certificate afterward, having built your capacity. Somebody called during the course of the program to ask me, please, if I missed day 1, can I still join day 2 and day 3 and get the certificate? We do not encourage that you miss. We have stated that it must be 100% participation. The criteria for certification is 100% participation and active participation, not just active and conscious participation, rather. But if you have missed, we have decided to do a makeup, which is why the course, even before the end of the whole training workshop, we have decided to upload the day 1 on our YouTube platform. So please do well if you can go through the day 1 and prove to us privately that you have gone through that day 1 of this course. Why not? The certification can be granted on that basis. We understand that our schedules can be tight. So thank you very much for attending, and do have a wonderful and blessed weekend.